Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening around the world. I have some sad news that I wanted to announce. I know some of you used to love my mother. She used to come on my video many years ago. And unfortunately, it's so sad to announce that she passed away at the age of 94. And I returned from the funeral, the burial, which was very beautiful. And she would have lived to 100 if it weren't for her accident. She fell and she hit her head and she started to have some internal bleeding in her head and which completely devastated her system. And so fortunately, she wasn't under a lot of suffering for many days, and all of my family was with her by her side. Unfortunately, before I was able to get to the airport, she had passed on, but I was able to see her at the wake and very emotional for the family. But she was 94, so she lived a very long life and I'm sure she would have made it to 100 if it wasn't for the accident. So thank you so much. I just wanted to announce that. And she was a beautiful person, optimistic. She was a ultimate optimist. We always said a great mom, a great wife. She was just all about the family, and she's just a beautiful person. So we would all be so fortunate if we couldn't even make it to the age of 90, but she made it to 94. And like I said, if it wasn't for the accident where she hit her head on the concrete, she would have probably lived to 100. So I just wanted to make that announcement. But today's live topic, let's get to why we're really here. Today's live topic is about um, how to taking action during the right time, right? Taking action during the right time, because that's really important. Because there's a saying that if you take the right action at the wrong time, it's still the wrong action. You have to take the right action at the right time. And that really makes a huge difference in success of your life, whether it's in career, money, relationships. It's all about taking the right action at the right time. And so, this is the topic that I really want to discuss today. Timing is everything. And to really share some tips and tools of how do you know when to take the action? How do you know when it's the right time and not the right time? What are the signs? What are the tools that you can employ to say, yes, this is the right time to take this action? Okay, so I want to share with you those tips and tools that I've employed in my own life and have definitely seen results. And I'm not saying that, I've always taken the right action at the right time. Far from it. And that was my learning lesson. Learning lesson is when you don't take the right action at the right time, you're learning from it, right? And so there's no mistake. A mistake happens only when you don't learn. A mistake is a mistake only when you don't learn. So all of that stuff is about learning and taking, and I've become a little bit better each day at taking the right action at the right time. Okay. Okay, hi. Hi, Mary. Hi, Ava. Mary says, I had a loss last week, also murder suicide. It was heartbreaking. Oh my God. That is so heavy. That is so heavy, Mary. Let's just send Mary and the people that is involved, around this murder, suicide. Let's send them some real blessings and healings. Please send God's Spirit, God's Spirit divine. Please send healing energy to Mary and the people that are involved with this, that are suffering from this horrific loss. And please guide them and be with them and send them extra love, send them extra healing. Thank you. Okay, so before we get started, let's clear the energy of the room, and then we will talk about this topic of taking action during the right time. And if you have any questions about this topic or something else, let me know. This is the time to come on and ask me questions live. Okay, so let's clear the energy of the room and then we'll get started. Just stay present, breathe naturally. Try to focus your mind, your attention in the power of now. Dear God, angels, spirit guides, and masters, divine creator, thank you so much for allowing us to create this sacred space. Thank you so much for allowing my mother, who passed at the age of 94, to be in peace and serenity, and joined my late sister's son and our father in the eternal life. I ask you also for prayers for Mary and the people involved that are suffering from the loss of the murder suicide. Please send them healing, send them love, send them more compassion, and send them lots of pure white light healing energy to Mary and the people who are suffering from this tragic loss. Thank you so much for allowing us to have this a sacred space to talk about this important topic of taking action during the right time so that all of us can become better manifestors and creators of this life and be on our soul's journey to take the right action at the right time. So thank you for removing any low frequency energies that do not belong in this room, that do not serve the highest and best good for everyone involved in this room. And thank you so much for allowing this session to go off without a hitch, to go with flow, serenity, peace, and have it a wonderful engagement amongst each other to help and benefit each other. And so it is. Namaste. Hello, Najira. Hello, for healing sakes. Hello, God, essence, energy, uh, peace, and soulful vibrations, moon, and everyone present. Thank you, goddess, goddess essence and energy. Thank you for those beautiful blessings and putting out wonderful frequency. We've deeply appreciated. Okay, so let's go into this topic of taking action during the right time. So, like I said before, taking good action at the wrong time is still wrong action. Taking right action at the right time is where you start to really hit success. And so this is critical because everything has its divine timing. It's really all about that divine timing when you are internally ready for something. Because if an opportunity presents to you, and I've seen this in so many cases in so many people's lives, where opportunities have been presented to all of us, and we've never taken the opportunity because we weren't ready for the opportunity. So if you're not ready for the opportunity, that's also not in divine timing, because if you're not ready for it, you can't execute on it. And if you can't execute well on it, then it will fail. So it's always about that divine timing. It's about, are you ready to meet that opportunity? That's hugely important. If it comes to you and if it's presented to you, are you ready? And are is the environment ready for the action that you're about to take, whether it's innovation? So a lot of times when you talk to entrepreneurs and startup companies, it's always about the right timing. That is, this solution that you're presenting to the world the right timing, because sometimes it's not and sometimes it is. And so it's all of these variables that have to come together, that you are ready to meet that opportunity, number one, and that action is ready for the times when you take those actions. That solution, the problem you're solving, the product, whatever, is ready for the times. So it's all of these different variables that come together as a confluence, and then you hit magic. So timing really becomes everything. Timing becomes everything, because sometimes, so you have to recognize that sometimes things don't work out for you and you're disappointed. That's actually could be the greatest blessing in disguise, because the universal force is saying it's not the right timing. So be more patient. So timing is critical for manifestational success purposes. Now, timing really is really bound by only this life, this time space reality that we call life. I call it the matrix, the hologram. Once our soul leaves this body, we transcend this time and space energy. we go to a higher consciousness level and it transcends time and space. But we want to manifest in this life, this consciousness, because that's why our soul came into this body to have physical experiences for physical manifestations. That's why we've come. So the timing becomes very important for this level of consciousness. It becomes critical for this level of consciousness. And so we can't avoid timing. We can't avoid that in this consciousness because when you take the right action during the right time, you're going to have much more success. When you take the wrong action or you take the right action during the wrong time, you're going to have failure. And so timing becomes very important in this time space reality that we call life. And we all want to manifest in this life because we are on our soul's journey to manifest physically. We're not here to just grow and expand spiritually. We're here to manifest physically for the expansion and growth of our soul. Because as we manifest physically, we feel that expansion and growth of the soul. That's the purpose of why we come into this physical time space. Rather, otherwise, there's no reason to come into this physical form, right? There's no reason. We could have stayed as an eternal being in the metaphysical world and we could have just remained there. But we have a physical purpose. And so today, I want to share with you some tools and tips about how do you know when it's the right time to take the action and when it's time to pause, when it's time to just let it go. How do you know that? How can you pick up the signs? What is the universe saying to you? What is the higher self telling you when to move and when to pause and when to pull back? Okay, so that's really critical here. Okay, so and if you have any questions, please let me know. Okay, let me just take a quick break and see if there's anything. Thank you everyone for your prayers. I don't know how to do the individual thank yous, but thank you. You're welcome. The fact, Mary, you're welcome. We all appreciate it. Good morning, Sharon. Good morning, Monique Daniels. Uh, Monique Daniels. Monique, there is no I Ching Oracle reading. I stopped it at the beginning of last year. I stopped doing it because there was too many fraudsters and scammers who were pretending to be me that were approaching my audience for money. It was a money scam. So because the energy was so negative around that, I felt like I needed to stop because I need to remove that energy. I needed to remove that energy because they were approaching, because I never ask money for readings and people approach me all the time offering money. And I've always declined because I never want to take money in that way. To me, this is my higher purpose and service to provide information. But if you have any other questions, Monique, I'm happy to answer it. So I'm not doing any readings, I Ching Oracle readings anymore because of the negative energy, low frequency energy around that. So I want to stop the scam. And that was the way to stop the scam. So they wouldn't fraud you, they wouldn't scam you for money. Okay, so if you have any other questions, let me know. Okay, so let's get into the area of how do you know when it's the right timing and when it's not the right timing? How do you know? Um, Oh, great. I'm glad you understand, Monique. I'm glad you understand. Thank you for understanding. So if you ever get approached if you're on my Facebook or you ever get approached somebody pretending to me and they're asking you for money, that's fraud. And you can let us know. Let us know. Send us a private message on the social media and letting us know that it's somebody's approaching you. That's how I discovered it because people were saying, "Hey, is this you, Moon?" Because somebody approached me and one time, one of my audience members said that somebody asked them for $500 for a reading. I mean, it was like crazy. There's so much scam out there, a lot of scams. So you have to be really aware of scams. Be really highly vigilant of scams, okay? And so as I let that go, the universal forces start to really clear that energy for me. It was a tough decision because I love doing it, but it was a decision that was for the highest and best interest of everyone involved. Okay. So How do you know what are how do you know what are the signs, what are the tools to know that this is the right timing, this is the right action? And so the way I generally operate is it's all about the flow. The flow is the key here. We're talking about the essence of the right timing is about flow. And so what it is this is that let's say you want to start a business. Let's say, Moon, I want to start restaurant because I have a passion for food and I've always wanted to start the restaurant business. I always wanted to have a restaurant, Italian restaurant in my hometown because my mother gave me these beautiful recipes and I want to start a restaurant business. And so you're like, how do I start that business? What are the things that I need? Maybe, I need an investor, maybe I need a chef, or if you're the chef, that's great. So what are all the cooperative components that you're going to need to start this restaurant business, right? And so you're like, there's a lot of restaurants that are I see a lot of restaurants in my block, in my neighborhood. And, the reason why I want to open this restaurant is because they're not going to have the kind of menu that I have. There's a gap in the Italian restaurants in my community, and I'm going to fill that gap. And therefore, I want to start this restaurant because you have to make sure that you're solving a solution for your customers. You just don't want another Italian restaurant for the sake of having it. There's something unique about you, and you can provide that service to or that menu to your customers that you can't get in other restaurants. And so you're going on this journey, you want to start this restaurant, and so you're like, what is the first thing that I really need? The first thing I need is maybe I need an investor, maybe I need a business partner, maybe I need somebody who can run the restaurant while I'm at the back dealing with all the food preparation and the recipes and things like that. So maybe you need a business partner, right? So it's like, okay, the first thing I might need is a business partner who can run the business while I'm dealing with the food side and the recipe side and making sure the quality of the food and recipe is really good. And so you want to embark in this journey, and the first thing you want to do is maybe you want to do some market research about what's going on. You want to have some information and data about the restaurant business in your community, right? And so you set that intention out there. You write it down. You write down, this is my goal. This is the intention that I have to set. These are the milestones that I want to achieve in the next 5 years of creating this restaurant. So write it down. Write down the milestones that you want to achieve. Put the big picture. Use the big picture. That's number one. Put the big picture. Want to have a successful Italian restaurant. 5 years, year one, I want to achieve this. Year two, year three, this. Year five, this. Big milestones. So you've written down, you say it, and you set that intention very powerfully to the universe, right? You said you can even read it out loud. After you've written it out, read it out loud. Read those milestones and intentions out loud because you're communicating with universal forces. The universe is like, here, Monique or Mary or wants to start this restaurant, and by year one wants to achieve this, by year three, this, by year five, this. So the universe starts to, work for you. The universe starts to bring the cooperative components for step one. And then you say, okay, what are the steps that I need to take in order to do this? Like, what is the first step that I need to take to move this energy forward, to move it forward? What is the step one? You don't even have to think about step five, step 10. The first step, what is the first step that you want to focus on? What is the first step you want to focus? She says, I really would like to have a business partner to open this restaurant. What is the intention? How do I meet the right business partner? Step one might be, what? I'm going to join restaurant membership organizations in my community or in my state, right? Or nationally. That could be step number one, where you could start to meet people in the restaurant industry, right? For maybe a potential business partner who's really passionate about what you're doing. So you're just focused on step one. You're not focused on step three, step four, step five. What is the things that I can do now? I can also build out my menu. I can start writing what my menu is going to look like. Maybe that's step one. The step one is what is the vision of what is the actual vision of that restaurant? The menu. What is that going to look like? That's actually maybe a step one because you also want to make sure that you are differentiating yourself, your restaurant from the other Italian restaurants, right? So step one is to have that unique vision. And I would write that down. I would write the recipe down in the same journal. That would be even like step one. So as you're focusing on that next step, what it is, and then you say, okay, I need to find a business partner and maybe I'll join what it is this is that you're looking for flow. You're looking for what the universe is presenting to you as you keep setting out this intention and as you keep taking action. So you take step one is the action. Maybe you join a restaurant membership organization, to possibly meet strategic partners. And as you join this organization and you say, oh, you know what? The universe has present me with these opportunities to join this organization. So that's kind of, you're looking for doors to open relatively effortlessly, meaning like flow. So yes, the universe wants me to join this organization. It keeps telling me, yes, join it or don't join that. So you're saying it flowed to me. That energy has flowed to me. And therefore, I should go in that direction. The energy has flowed to me. Does that mean that you're going to continue to go in that direction? Not necessarily, because it's all about the precursor, ready to be ready, as Abraham Hicks always says. You take that step and you join that organization because that energy has come to you and it feels like the energy is good. And so you go in that direction. Now, if you join that organization and for example, you've now joined it for a year, 2 years, and you feel like it's not really great for you, what they're offering is not really helping move your energy for this restaurant, that's something that you're going to assess at the time. Doesn't mean just because that energy has come to you that it's the best thing for you. It's the good thing for now. It's the good thing for now. It's a good energy for now. So you're looking for the energies that are coming to you. That's what you're looking for, coming to you, rather than forcing and manipulating, controlling. But does that mean that when energy comes to you that you're not taking action? No, that's not what that means. It means that you are taking action towards it. That's why it's coming to you. Because if you're not setting that intention and taking the action towards it, then that energy is not coming to you. You hear what I'm saying? So taking action is absolutely the right step. Taking action is absolutely the right step. Now, where is this is do I keep taking action in this direction or do I keep putting energy and my time and energy, which is energy is taking action, do I keep doing it in this direction that no longer serves me? No, you don't keep doing that. When flow starts to deteriorate, when you start to experience that blocked energy and things are really not going your way, what the universal force is that's the time to say pause. That is the time to pause, saying maybe not right for this time. Pause. Pause taking that action. Don't go create, don't keep trying to bang, throw things against the wall, hoping that something's going to work. And I see people do this all the time. They do the same thing over and over and over again, thinking that it's going to work, but it doesn't work. But they keep doing the same thing over and over again. You see it all the time. You see it, whether in individuals, you see it in politics, you see it everywhere. They just keep doing the same thing over and over again. It doesn't work. Over and over again. It doesn't work, hoping that it's going to work. So that's why when you have to recognize, wow, this is not the action. This is not where I should put the energy because there's no flow. The energy is blocked. And so that's the time to say, no, I have to stop and pause this action. I have to stop and pause because the universe is telling me it's not the right time or it may never be the right time. So that's the time to pause. Pause and then evaluate what are some of the things that you're saying to yourself? Are you saying what stories are you telling yourself? Or you keep telling yourself, oh, this can't happen. It's not gonna happen. Like, or is your subconscious mind doubting that that it can't happen because it's hard and there's challenges and obstacles? You have to evaluate, what is my internal world saying to me? What is my mental emotional space doing? Is it supporting this vision? Or is it going against this vision? That's the time to evaluate where your internal world is. Is your internal world in the right place to continue and continue in that direction? Because if it's not, you have to stop and pause and regroup yourself, regroup your internal world, restart it, restart that internal world. Take a assess where your internal world is. Is the internal world supporting my vision or not? Because if it's not supporting it, then you really want to take a little time off to get into the right internal space so that you can maybe revisit it. And maybe at that point, you're going to revisit it in a different angle, different perspective. You're going to pivot, you're going to change. Because if you just keep doing the same thing over and over again, it doesn't work, then you've got to just pause because that energy is no longer coming. The energy is blocked. It's blocked. It's all blocked. And you're looking for flow. That's what you're looking for, flow. So this is how you really understand whether it's the right timing. And just because it's the right timing now and taking action now, it might not be a year from now. It might be something different. It might be about pivoting or changing your strategy. Just because it worked now, it doesn't mean it's going to work a year from now. See, it's all about change is the only constant. Change is the only constant. So many times I've had things work out now, but it no longer served me later. It no longer served my goal, my intention, my mission later. That's when to pivot. Okay. Okay. So let's take a little break and see if there's any questions here. Okay, Najir. Hi for healing stakes. I believe our intuition, soul, spirit tells us our ego can cause false starts or impatience if we allow it to. Yes, absolutely. Yes, because the ego is always trying to is bringing more fear and say, oh, you don't have time and this and that. But the soul knows, the soul absolutely knows what the journey is, the path is, what the divine timing is. The soul already knows because the soul knows it. The deepest part of you, the higher self part of you already knows that. It's the ego mind that's messing with you. Ba, 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 saying, oh, this, that, like it's always like messing with you, right? So that's where when you come home to your soul, the ego mind starts to subside and the soul starts to speak. Okay, so good observation, for healing sakes. Najira, even what you do currently, we appreciate it. It is greatly important. Thank you, Najira. Monique Daniel says, I am currently in school for culinary arts and I graduate in 1 month, and my intention is to become a private chef. This reading is definitely from a higher power, divine calling. Wow. See, Monique, you came in, you wanted it, and I talked about being a chef, restaurant, right? I talked about it's the laws of attraction. You know that you in your mind you want to work as a chef in the food industry, and you came on and you asked for a reading, and I'm already speaking to you, right? I'm already speaking to what you're doing, what career you want to in the food industry, in the chef industry. And I deeply appreciate, first of all, I don't have a private chef, but I would love to have a private chef. So I love private chefs. To me, I think they provide such a beautiful service because you get to eat the food that you want. I always said if I had a private chef, I would make a list of all the ingredients that I love and I would give it to my private chef and they would shop for it and then make food out of all of those ingredients. And I would be eating healthy, nutritious, and delicious all the time. So I deeply, deeply appreciate private chefs. So thank you, Monique, for pursuing this beautiful goal. Okay. Najira, I have been learning this from experience. I wish I learned this 3 years ago. Okay, Najira, one of the things that you want to, when you have too much regret, like when you have sustained regret, if you have regret for a short period of time, it's okay because we're a human being. But if you start to have regret for a long period of time, it's creating actually blocked energy. So instead of saying, I regret it, I said, you know what? It's because of the 3 years of experience that I went through that I now can awaken to it, right? If it wasn't for those 3 years, because experience, firsthand experience is what allows you to awaken, what allows you to become consciously aware of what you were not consciously aware of before. So instead of framing as, I regret it 3 years ago, I wish I'd known, you say, oh, it's those 3 years that allowed me to come to this conclusion where I have a higher awareness, and therefore I'm grateful for those 3 years. Reframing it that way will flow the energy. Anytime you have too much regret for long periods of time, it no longer serves you because all it is creating blocked energy. It's not creating that flow. So if you reframe it in that way, you are opening up for flow. You're opening up to free that energy. That's why it's important to reframe it, Najira. Okay. Okay. Hi, Sarah Johnston. Good afternoon to you. Vladimir. Yeah, it happens all the time. That's when you say, wait a second, I need to reflect, and then you go into the chakra aura dimension. I love it. Yes. If that's right. You need to reflect, you need to pause, reflect. And all of your chakra system, all of those things can help you become more aware, more in tune with your higher self, the higher consciousness level of who you are. So all of that is wonderful. Sarah Johnson says, I often doubt things. Yes, yes. And we all doubt, right? Doubt is an energy of sometimes I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. So if I'm not good enough, then I doubt that this could happen for me. I doubt that I could be abundant in money, financially, relationship, right? If I doubt myself, I doubt there's this thing of like I'm not good enough to maybe have those things. That's why I doubt it. So if you had more of that, oh, self-love and not in a narcissistic way. We're not talking about narcissism here. We're talking about having respect for yourself because you are the perfect image of God. Your existence as this energetic being is your only validation for worthiness. There is no other validation that you need to seek out to feel worthy. So society says, oh, you have to look like this to be worthy. You have to have these things to be worthy, right? The fact that you are purely a beautiful eternal energy of God, that is your validation for already being good enough for anything. And so when we have a lot of doubt, we're really doubting ourselves. We're really doubting ourselves. And when we put out that doubt energy, mixed energy comes back to us, right? Because the universe always meets us where we're at. So if we're here, the universe meets us here. If we're here, the universe meets us here. So you really want to work on your self-confidence. I am unconditionally worthy, not in a narcissistic way. I am unconditionally worthy. Well, I have respect for myself and I make decisions that honor my respect. So that's not narcissistic. Narcissistic is when people treat other people badly because they think they're better. You're not saying that you're better than anybody. You're saying that you are equal to everybody. And therefore, people should treat you with that same respect. It should be it, you know, uh, it should be that yin and yang energy that comes ebb and flow. It shouldn't be one way. So narcissist is it's just a one-way energy. Like it's me, 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 me. Whereas when you have respect for yourself, you actually respect others and you treat others the way you want to be treated, and people treat you the way you should be treated. That's that's the type of energy that I'm talking about, which is an energy of self-respect that I am worthy. So I would say, Sarah, work on that. Work on your worthiness, that I am good enough. I am good enough. I am equal to everyone on this planet. I am equal to everyone on this planet. Equal to everyone on this planet. And I will treat them exactly the way I want to treat myself. So it's an even, you're not treating anybody worse or better. Okay. So work on that. Okay. You're welcome, Monique Daniels. Najera, I will reframe it. Thank you. Thank you for reframing it. I really appreciate that. Kamala P. This is amazing. I am contemplating to take crucial call in shifting my career, and this message of yours comes as a blessing from the universe. Of course, the universe always provides the messages and the guidance at the right divine timing, right? So I'm glad that this message is resonating with you, Kamala. And what a beautiful name, Kamala is. I don't know if it's Kamala or Kamala. So if I said it wrong, I apologize. And beautiful. I am so happy that you were taking steps to make this transition and to think about another career, because when something no longer serves you, you don't want to continue on that path. You want to have the courage to say, no, I honor myself. And because I honor myself, I can do this. I can make that shift. I can make that shift. I never thought that I would ever be, working on an AI educational platform for Chinese medicine. Never in a million years. I'm not even an AI person, but we have an incredible team in our company. I never thought I could even do that, right? But I said, you know what, universe, you're going to bring me all the I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know exactly. We have the most rock star team to build this AI educational platform, Chinese medicine. It's really amazing. Just because you yourself the universe will bring you the cooperative components, the partnerships, and the teams, and the all the cooperative components. You have to put that intention and say, I am worthy, I am good enough to be able to do this. Okay. Um, okay, hi Niger. Is looking for a past friend or acquaintance forcing, or is it okay for reconnecting? Very good question. I think that I think that I think that there's a reason why you might want to connect with a past friend or acquaintance, right? There's a reason. And so one of the things that you might want to do is ask yourself, why do I want to connect with this acquaintance or friend? Is it because I'm desperate for a friend or I'm lonely? Or is it because I am at a different place in my life and I feel that this person, we can resonate with each other? There might be a possibility of resonance, that we are now on the same level. So evaluate, what is the reason why you want to reconnect with that person. And if the reason is because you think you guys might resonate with each other now, and maybe that person has changed or evolved and it may no longer be a good fit. You don't know, but you want to explore it but if you're trying to do it because you're so desperate for a friend, then that may not be the best reason. Then it's the time to say, I need to feel whole with myself before I go out and try to meet people. Because if you're not whole on the inside and you're looking for an outer person to fill that emptiness, that's superficial. But if you answer the question, you know what, I think that this person can maybe resonate with me now, and we can really, help each other, and we're on the same page, that's a beautiful thing. But if the reason is I am so desperate because I am very, very lonely, then you might want to evaluate how you could make yourself whole and feel comfortable with yourself before you go out. Because if you don't fix that internal world, you're gonna keep seeing, you're just gonna bring in more low frequency people. You want to bring in high frequency, you want to connect with higher frequency people, right? But if you're down here, the universe is just going to keep you showing what's down here. So you want to fix this and move here, and then the universe will show you the higher frequency people. So what I would suggest, Najir, is answer that for yourself. What is the reason why you want to get acquainted with this friend again? Answer that authentically. And that doesn't mean that maybe it's not now. Maybe it's 6 months from now. Maybe it's a year from now. Maybe it's now. You know what I'm saying? But answer that question, answer the why, and that will help you determine whether you should reach out to this person now or maybe later. Okay. So I hope that has helped you. Sarah says, thank you. I definitely need to work on confidence. Oh, you're welcome, Sarah. And I want you to know, Sarah, you're not giving yourself enough credit. You're not, because the ego mind messes with us. The ego mind says all these things, but, all that white noise, right? Because we have so much white noise of society. Society says we are worthy because we look like this. We are worthy because we have this. We are worthy because we have this, this we have certain amount of money. We are worthy because we have a beautiful home. All this superficial stuff. You are worthy by the virtue of your eternal existence as a soul. Period. Period. There is no external material thing that comes in that will then make you worthy. You get what I'm saying? You are worthy by the virtue of your existence. Okay, so keep repeating that. I am worthy by the virtue of my existence. I am worthy by the virtue of my existence. Repeat that to yourself and go into the mirror, Sarah, and says, I love you. You are good enough. You are beautiful. You are worthy. Do that mirror, the mirror tool that, Louise Hay, it became very famous because of her. And it really works. It really works. Um, for healing six, thank you for being in your calling. You're such a blessing. Oh, thank you so much. Yes, this is my calling. I really believe that. That's why I've been doing it. And I feel like this is really a calling for me. And so I do whatever is in my calling. And it's an honor to really serve you. It really is. It really is. The souls that I meet and engage with are some of the most beautiful souls that I've ever met. And I'm so lucky because I feel like I attract beautiful people, beautiful souls. That's all. I really want to just attract beautiful souls. And that's what I feel like I do. And it's what you put out is what you get back, right? So I really try to put out something that could truly help you in your journey of life. And I'm not saying that I know everything. I'm far from it, far from it, far from it, far from it. But whatever it is that I can share, I will do so. Okay. Hi. Oh, Kamala. You're welcome, Kamala. Nisha, thank you so much. I remember the good experience I had with him and felt like he was receptive of me, but I didn't realize that till later. Okay, wonderful. You know what? I love the fact that you had good memories and experience with him. And that might be a good reason to reach out. You don't know where he's at. You don't know if this relationship he might have evolved. You have evolved. So, if you feel that way, then I don't think it hurts to reach out and see, where he's at in his life. Maybe he's married, maybe he has, who knows? Nobody knows. Or maybe this is the right divine timing and you will know. You will know if it's the right action at the right time because the universal forces will let you know by what happens, how receptive he is, where he is, you'll know by reaching out and seeing how receptive, because if he's not receptive, then that and then you could just quickly move on. You don't want to waste a lot of time, right? So you will know by how the energy is received by him, okay? Or, by him. Okay. You're welcome, Sarah. I have the Louise Hay books. Yeah, me too. I love her. I love Louise Hay. I always say she's like my godmother, but I never met her. But I always feel like she's like my godmother, even though I've never met her. She's one of the most beautiful souls that I've ever seen. And she's just pure, genuine, loved people, genuinely loved and honored people. Never looked down on anyone, always treated them with the utmost respect and honor. And this is why I loved her so much because she was just pure heart. And you don't meet a lot of pure hearts. My mother was a pure heart. I did when I at the funeral, I did for my mother, I did a speech that the theme was pure heart. My mother was a pure heart. And it's hard to find the pure hearts. And I see Louise Hay in that category. She was a pure heart. You're welcome. You're welcome, Najira. Okay, so if anybody does not have any more questions, let me just do a quick recap and then we'll close the room because I have a call at 10 o'clock, so I want to take a 5-minute break. So basically, taking the right action at the right time is that when you take an action, you evaluate whether energy is coming to you. As you're taking steps or some action, you evaluate, Is it flowing? Are other cooperative components coming to support that? That's called flow. If other cooperative components are not coming in to support that action that you're taking, then and it's too hard and you just keep throwing things against the wall and nothing's working out, that's a sign to you that there's blocked energy and you might want to pause that action. It doesn't mean that you're not going to revisit it. You could pause it and then put your attention to something else. So that's how you know if the action is right. That's signs. It's like signs that are given to you. And yes, this action, because so once you, but then when you pivot your action, then sometimes flow starts to come in a big way just by pivoting that action. I mean, we made a pivot in our AI educational uh, system, and because we made that pivot, we start seeing a lot more flow come in. Flow, flow, flow. So this is how you know that, oh, yes, that action that I took by pivoting opened up the energy and freed up that energy. Okay. So look for the flow. If you're just keep taking action and things are, it's like all you see is block, 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 the energy is telling you stop doing it. Stop doing it. Make a pivot, make a shift. Think outside of the box. Be more resourceful, be more creative, right? So that's really the essence of taking action during the right time. And don't regret taking that action because you needed to take that action to see what the results are so that you can make a shift or a change. Because if you didn't take that action, you wouldn't know whether you should continue or to make a shift or pivot, right? So you needed to take that action. So don't regret taking that action. It's like Najira says, 3 years. I wish I had known three. Don't regret those 3 years, Najira. That was necessary for you to get to this point where you could become more aware of yourself and aware of your eternal beingness. Okay. So that's really sums it up. Look for the flow as you're taking action. Because when it's at the right time, at the right place, the right timing, universal forces, the cooperative components will come with much ease and flow. Okay, that doesn't mean that we don't have challenges. Of course, we're always going to have challenges. It's about how you're going to maneuver those challenges to create flow. It's maneuvering those challenges, being able to shift, pivot. Change is the only constant. Change is the only constant. Okay, so if there's no other question, I'm going to clear the energy of the room. Dear God, angel, spirit guides, and masters, divine creator, thank you so much for allowing us to open the sacred space. I ask you to please bless all of these beautiful, beautiful souls in this room and around the world to allow them to take the right action at the right time and be in their flow so they can become powerful manifestors of their lives. We continue to thank you for being here with us always, supporting us, guiding us, sending us powerful messages and wisdoms and signs from the universe as to whether we're taking the right action at the right time, and constantly communicating with us and showing us and guiding us to our soul's path and journey. So we're deeply grateful for your continued support, your continued guidance, your continued wisdoms, and continue to protect us from low frequency energies. And most importantly, we are deeply grateful for your unconditional love. And so it is. Namaste. Okay, have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Bye. I'll see you next week. Bye.